Hey, my name's Julian Faust. Welcome to the Profits and Panels podcast. Today I'm joined by Curtis Young, the founder of AdConversions.ai. Curtis, welcome and thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you for having me. Appreciate your time, man.
Of course, yeah, I'm excited to have this conversation today, learn a little bit about the ad side and how you're helping these solar companies.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So can you tell me about how you got started in this? Maybe what piqued your interest at first and then how you got to where you are today?
Well, I kind of landed in a position and I evolved from there. I was in high school and I absolutely hated school. And there was a high school program that placed you in a job to finish out the rest of your high school credits so you can graduate. So I opted for this program because I didn't want to spend 6 hours in class every single day. So this program actually landed me in a real estate brokerage. Being the age of 16, I obviously can't sell homes or anything like that. So I became the marketing guy, the online guy, and they taught me everything I need to know as far as generating leads, door knocking, cold calling, you name it. I learned everything and honed in my skills there. We're doing really well. And then one of those real estate agents was actually starting his own brokerage. And because I was doing all the work for that current brokerage, he invited me to come along and be his chief marketing officer. I took that job on. So at like 18 years old, I'm making like 100K per year as a CMO of a real estate agency, developing client acquisition systems and all of that. That took me to building my own agency for real estate agents. And I actually exited from that agency. And then from there, I saw in the solar industry very similar aspects and parallels to the solar industry. So I decided, hey, let me take on this challenge and see if I can develop systems for the solar industry, being that I'm from the real estate industry. And it's pretty much the same as far as connecting solar pros with homeowners, because real estate agents were connected with, we were connecting them with homeowners. So I got in, built out systems relatively close to what we were doing in real estate and changed it a little bit for the solar world. And here we are today.
Yeah. And what's been the biggest shift you've seen in the industry since joining solar?
The biggest shift. What do you mean by that? Could you be more specific?
What methods have changed within your business and ad agencies of that sort of thing? Has AI changed the game for you there? Like, what's been a big change over the past couple of years?
Oh yeah, as far as AI, yeah, AI has been the biggest shift that I've seen in a very long time. Considering when I first got into the industry when I was doing the real estate, this was like 15 years ago, and the biggest shift back then was just the internet period, right? Agents were learning how to generate leads from online, things like Google, Facebook, and all of that. And I would say since that time, AI has been the biggest shift because it really complements your online lead generation as far as keeping up with your clients, nurturing your clients. Even there's even AI callers now that can call and book appointments for your clients and all of that. So yeah, I would say AI has been the biggest shift since I've been in the industry, and it's making things a lot more easier. As far as lead generation goes, I wouldn't say that AI can go ahead and generate leads and do all of that, but it's making the client journey a lot more easier, a lot more stressless on the solar broker or the person trying to convert that.
Yeah, it's so crazy what it can do. One thing I'm actually trying to do at the moment is do sort of an agency model as well of AI. So implementing stuff like these AI callers, which can just replace a whole sales team potentially. It's really incredible and also scary.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like what of those tools are you using in your business? I know you said it's not as simple with lead generation, it can't do the whole process, but what have you seen to be useful for you?
Well, one of our major use cases for AI in the solar industry is database reactivation. And even one thing that's really huge for us is after an install in the solar industry, clients or solar owners typically go dead after they install for the homeowner. There's no follow up. There's no like they fall short when it comes to getting referrals from happy clients and things like that. So what we're implementing is any new solar business that joins us, what we do is we get a list of their client lists that they've already installed, and we have AI call these people and do sort of like a podcast asking them questions about how their service was, would they recommend it to neighbors and things like that, and even ask for referrals. We're able to take that audio and turn it into actual podcasts that we can then use for marketing to help them get even more clients. So that's a huge way that we're leveraging AI to pretty much get more clients from the clients that you've already installed with.
Is that what you would say is part of the reactivation process, or is there also other things that go into it? Like, let's say there's a database of just like 2,000 leads just sitting there. What steps would you take to help that business reactivate them and make some really good cash?
Yeah, so let's say, yeah, like you have a list of 2,000 leads. Right away, what we can do is set up reactivation campaigns via text, because you would have all their information, so we can send them value over text. I mean, just because that person didn't respond the first time you reached out to them, doesn't mean they might. I mean, doesn't mean they won't respond later, right? They became a lead for a reason. So maybe the timing wasn't right or things like that. So we have a quarterly reactivation campaign where every 3 months or so, we're re-engaging those leads that have gone quiet or have gone dead, and trying to get them back into the system so that we can book the appointment and pretty much help them go solar.
Do you find that you partner up with solar businesses the same way you try and help those solar businesses find clients? Like, do you have the same ad strategies to attract your own clients and people to work with you, or is that a different process?
Yeah, very similar with the solar industry. It's There's a lot of BS in the solar industry, and people coming in claiming wild things and all of that, and that goes the same for me as an agency trying to sell services to solar owners. A lot of them have been burnt before, just like homeowners have been burnt by other companies. So it's more of a value-based approach, where I call it edutainment, where we educate with entertaining videos and things like that, but at the same time, we're educating them on the process of going solar. And in my case, I'm educating solar owners on how to better acquire clients using these methods and things like that.
So, what strategies are working the best for you to attract your own clients?
Definitely video. Video is the new everything. Everything is on video. People are nonstop scrolling. So I like to, or I'm trying to produce more and more video, even with my face. I was never a fan of video coming out, but if you can't beat them, you definitely got to join them. So we do faceless videos. I'm also being more proactive and putting myself out there and sharing value to the community. And that's exactly what we encourage our solar owners to do as well.
So, the solar business owners that you're partnering up with, you're trying to make them the face of their own brand as well. Like, almost be a thought leader in the community so people trust them. Is that a tactic?
Exactly. A lot of them are against like putting their faces out there and whatnot, which is completely fine. So this is where we use AI as well to create these faceless videos that not only entertain but educate the homeowner on the process of going solar and build that trust to get the follow, and then hopefully get them to our website where we can remarket to them and get them as a lead.
What would you say is the biggest challenge you're facing in your business right now?
The biggest challenge is skepticism. There's a lot of skepticism inside of the solar industry, because there's a lot of fly by night agencies that come with crazy offers, crazy guarantees and things like that. And a lot of solar owners have been burnt or spent money to get literally nothing in return because they believe these crazy claims. So a lot of it is, yeah, this just breaking through the skepticism of the industry and providing value up front so that we can build that trust to further convert later on.
So after you build that trust, especially through those videos on your own LinkedIn and social media, do you find people sending you messages to connect with you, or do they just go to your website? How are they connecting with you there after you advertise the way you
Yeah,
do?
great question. So I find it a little weird because like in in like our advertising, we would our call to actions would be like comment something or like if you want X information. And for some odd reason, they don't do that. They won't do that like up front, I guess because they see other people may see them liking or commenting on the post. So they don't do that, but they'll reach out in the DMs talking about that specific post and wanting that specific item that we offered. So it's a little weird, but yeah, they'll be in the DMs asking further questions and things like that.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I wouldn't have done that in the past, but recently I've been seeing stuff online. Comment on one of your posts actually for that Sunrun manual, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a look at that this weekend.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah. What are some repetitive tasks within the business? Have you been able to delegate a lot of it to AI, or do you still find yourself doing things over and over again that could have been moved away from you?
Yeah, a lot of things that we do, like for instance, outreach on LinkedIn and things like that, we've been able to delegate to AI. However, AI is not perfect, so we do have like a manager, which is a real person managing things. And before we would have to have maybe several managers for several campaigns, but now we could focus on one manager managing all the campaigns and all the repetitive tasks, just making sure everything is going smooth according to how we set it up.
So do you think the thought leadership or posting on LinkedIn is going to be your main marketing channel for the next 12 to 24 months, or are you going to be expanding a little bit more?
Yeah, I find I actually started on Facebook, believe it or not. And Facebook is great because my experience is from working with real estate agents, and they're all over Facebook. Well, this is also back in the day as well. So it was easier to connect with people or real estate agents on Facebook. However, it's completely different with solar. The Because there's so many levels. Like a real estate agent, they're their own boss and that's it. Like if you're speaking with Paul, Paul's the boss of his business. That's it. With solar, there's different layers and managers before you even get to the CEO and all of that. So LinkedIn, I find, is a better place to reach out to them because you're reaching out to the actual owner of the company or at least someone below the owner who can share that information with the owner and connect you or help you schedule a call.
For someone who wants to break into the marketing agency world and build their own, or implement these AI tools like you've been doing, or even mix them together, what's a tip you would give, like a number one thing to think about to just find success in the way you have?
I would say solve for every problem that the owner or the business might run into. Like for instance, don't just sell ads because they could hop on Fiverr and find people all over India, Nigeria, and things like that to run ads for them for pennies on the dollar, right? And that doing that one off service has become a commodity. So what I would suggest is solve for many problems. So if you're running ads, they're obviously going to need someone to follow up with those leads. They're obviously going to need someone to call those leads and book them into appointments. So don't just run ads, but run ads. Give them a CRM where they can, or where you can leverage AI to do the follow up, or even add a AI caller to call these people and book them into actual booked appointments. So don't just do one thing, do the whole thing from A to Z to guarantee a better lead or a better appointment.
Do you feel like at the moment there's any other parts of the advertising or AI area that you want to improve for yourself or be able to offer to someone else?
Like, can you be a little bit more specific? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, so are you looking to add anything else to your offer at the moment? You build maybe a sales funnel and then you implement the AI callers in the follow-up, but has there been any other trends you've seen where you basically do you see where the industry is trending and you're trying to get ahead of that at the moment?
What I have noticed is, or something that we've recently added to our service, is also building out their initial websites. What I find is a lot of solar companies, when they first start, they probably hire someone on Fiverr just to put together a website or something like that for them, and it ends up biting them in the ass later on because it that doesn't build their brand when they're advertising and things like that. So what we have been doing as of recent is adding on building their whole website, giving them a brand presence, rebranding them from top to bottom, on top of running the ads, on top of using the AIs to help book the appointments, on top of the referral system that we use with AI after they close a deal or after they install panels.
Do you think the business owners who pay for the cheaper websites on Fiverr know that they're not getting as good of a service? Do they understand that SEO is a lot more technical than just building a simple website? Or do you feel like you have to come in and educate?
Yeah, they don't know, right? I think starting out the gate, people are just trying to just get out there, just put a website out there and things like that. And a lot of them are finding out later, once they start to build a business, that and they Google themselves, they realize they're not being shown on Google and things like that. But had they taken the proper steps initially, then they would have had all that time to build out the SEO and all of that. So that's something that, yeah, that's a lot of my content is based on how to rank better on SEO, with SEO, how to build better websites, things like that, to educate them ahead of time before they ever run into that issue where they can't find themselves online.
And in the next 12 to 24 months, from a growth perspective, where do you see your business going, whether it's higher revenue, expanding your offer, expanding your team? What do you think in there?
Yeah, we're actually looking to we've worked with a lot of companies in the US, and we're hoping to expand to the UK and other parts of the world as well, because we're noticing the same kinds of issues that these people are having. And a lot of them are being, I guess, deceived by bigger lead generation companies offering them leads and things like that, using very, very basic tools. So we're looking to pretty much spread the word about this and get out to more markets and help them leverage these same tools that the larger lead generation companies are using to resell leads to them. They can implement the exact same thing for themselves and just keep the leads and help convert more people into solar.
Curtis, thanks so much for joining us today. Where can our audience find you online?
Primarily on LinkedIn, Curtis Young. Our website is adconversions.ai if you ever want to reach out. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram, not as much, but LinkedIn and my website will be primarily the best ways to find us.
Thanks, Curtis.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.